Okay, hello again, everyone. It's been a little bit of time after the last video. I've been slightly busy, Been dating this chick, who lives on the far north, and since it is a busy time of the year for her husband, who's involved in a lot of charity, I have to waste a lot of time on these affairs, and naturally I caught a cold, so hope you winged it with me. So, this is, after all, a gaming channel, and what have I played recently? I have played, of course, Songs of Conquest. It is still a good game. I still like it a lot. But now that I'm finished with most of the single player content, I've been playing it only multiplayer wise with my friends, let's say it like that. And it was a blast. It was a blast. I have came back to the Warcraft 3, of course. I've been playing a little bit of Direct Strike, which was alright, and I have been watching, the matches. I've been watching the meta of modern Warcraft 3 Melee, and it seems to be real nice too. I'm really glad that the game is doing alright, but I hope there would be more players nowadays. And of course, Rocket League is always on its, bare minimum. There's a lot of promotions, like always, but the game's doing alright, As long as I can kick balls with a car on a rocket engine, I think the Rocket League will always be alright. Also, of course, as I said in the last video, I have played Yakuza Like a Dragon, Yakuza 7, and it is a big game. And like all the other Yakuza games, the sub stories and mini games are the main content of the game. This is the most fun part of the game, not the main story. Even though the main story is the cheap TV series, with a lot of twists and turns. It can be real fun too, but there is a lot to go through, and I'm having a blast, and I am taking my time, of course. What really catches my eye is that the game manages to surprise me sometimes, even though I thought I'm getting, fair amount of immunity to the Japanese, anime-esque bullshit. So I can tell without a doubt in my mind that this is a great game. And I'm waiting to, you know, tell you more about it in the future when I will complete it, of course. Also, I have played Space Marine 2 with a couple of mates of mine, and it was a blast too. At first glance, the game provides some really cool multiplayer content, so I'm looking forward to playing it again. But, as it usually goes, the only problem is to get together with your mates and be in the mood to play the game. So, while waiting for that, I decided to try out the game that was long overdue for my attention, and it is the Space Marine 1. So, what is the Space Marine 1 in a nutshell? If I remember correctly, the game came out in 2010 or 2011, and as many people in Steam reviews mention it, it is absolutely a game of its time. It is the third-person action shooter or shooter action. Doesn't really matter. With a lot of boring gray brown filters. The color palette in this game is dim. But the game was different from its contemporaries. You know how it didn't include that cover system. That Gears of War popularized at the time, because it for the good at least 5 years or so after the God of War came, or God of War, Gears of War came out. It felt like any new game that comes out, it comes with this cover system, awkward cover system. Everyone in the world really likes the low covers to be included in everywhere, especially low tables, you know, everything was centered around that. It was stupid, and thank God it is gone. And the developers of the Space Marine, they have used it in their promotional materials. So, you don't have to use pansy tactics like cover in this game. Like, I have played this game in hard difficulty, and there are definitely some covers. They're just not hard coded in the game. Uh, well, whatever. Like the second game, like the second Space Marine, the campaign of this game isn't long, and the game has some multiplayer content, but I don't care about this multiplayer stuff, so I didn't even try it. If you're interested in it, you can check out, YouTube, or you can do whatever you want, and you will find something about it eventually. I'm looking at this game purely from single player perspective, but multiplayer does work. I accidentally, pushed the multiplayer button, and I have seen that there are functionality there. There are lobbies or something. People play it, at least some people do. And that's what I can tell you about that. But now, about the game itself, or, its significant part of it. And this significant part is Warhammer 40k, 40,000. If I know that it is unlikely, and if you somehow don't know what Warhammer 40,000 is, it is, first of all, it's a tabletop game. You can collect miniatures of it for obscene prices, color them, be yelled at from the community that you're doing everything wrong and your choice of faction is wrong, and play obscenely long games of playing out battles with it. And Since this game is a stylistic phenomenon, for a time, it came out in the late 80s, if I understand correctly. It, you know, there is a lot of merch around it, of course, and the video games, of course, the part of it too. Uh, the most popular game at the time that popularized Warhammer 40k outside of tabletop groups is Dawn of War series. There are like Dawn of War and 3 expansions to it, or 4 expansions. I don't remember exactly, which were developed by Relic Entertainment, and these games were quite successful. They brought a lot of fans into the series, and in the genre, real-time strategy genre, it is still considered to be one of the best games. Fairly recently, earlier this year, the remaster of the first Dawn of War came out, so if you want to check it out, there are good opportunities for you to do so. Anyway, the Relic Entertainment, who developed the Dawn of War series, also developed this game, Space Marine. And that, how do I put this? There are a little there are small problems around this. First of all, developers assume that players are familiar with the setting, and don't do much exposition in Space Marine 1. They throw out to you some obscure terminology like Codex Astartes or Adeptus Mechanicus. If you're not familiar with the setting, you will be like, what the fuck is going on? And they don't bother much explaining it, and that's it. You just have to live with it. Even the main conflict of the game between Chaos and the forces of the Emperor is like, these guys serve demons. We serve mankind. So we're good and they're bad. On the surface level, that is enough, but if you really want to understand the complexities of it all, you have to, go check out some lore, and that's about it. But as I slightly mentioned, that the story is quite simple. You as a player go through very much linear environments, so just slay anything in your path with stylish animations if possible, and maybe, just maybe, someday the enemies on your path will end. That is the true Space Marine way. And that's the best part of the game. You just you shoot everything. You kill everything with your axe or your chain sword, and it's just raw action shooter kind of fun. Animations are cool, and the enemies are stylish as well. There is another problem, of course, with the game. That Warhammer part of the game. And I think it's more of my own personal problem with the Warhammer, because, where I come from, Warhammer always was kind of popular, at least in terms of memes, in the nerd section, of the community. And it was always difficult for me to understand the setting and, not only understand it, but, find interest in it. Because there are aesthetic choices that were made for a time. At least I always felt like it. Um, what I need is the game starts with classic Warhammer 40k slogan. In the grim darkness of the far future, there's only war. Or something like that. I'm not sure if I can, recite this exactly, but that what comes to mind. And if nowadays in the grim darkness of our future there is only war, the emphasis put on the war, only war, not there is nothing but war. In the better part of 2000s, when you have to be edgy and anything, uh, many people put the emphasis on the grim darkness part, and they like were throwing everything at you to show you how hopeless situation is and how meaningless the fighting even is. And I was so much preoccupied by how pointless it all is that I couldn't even get to the fun part of it all, the most stylish part. And this game suffers from that aesthetic choice too, I think, because the collectibles in the game, like traditional collectibles, you slightly deviate from the corridor and you find voice recording. There's a lot of voice recording, like half a hundred of them at least, and these voice recordings are of the residents of this planet and the residents of this war zone, of the people who fight. And in many times, it gives you nothing in terms of exposition, but it gives you a lot in the mood of how the life on this planet and in overall this galaxy is shite. It's a complete hopeless mess. There are a lot of voice recordings of the uh, I couldn't even understand if it is a couple or something. At least there was some people who were working at the factory, and the most of the recordings. All right, I'll go at the fifth shift on the factory in a row. I hope another five shifts this week's will come out well too. I think this week is coming up well. I will sleep for at least 3 hours this week, so that is a win. It's kind of weird, to put so much attention to that and not to the matter at hand, because it is cool that setting is edgy and all, but when the people that you're fighting for are don't bother with coming with prosthetic. They're done for anyway. Like the medics in this wasteland say, it's just there is no hope. And I tend to root for the good guys. And in Warhammer there are none. It's kind of stupid, of course, from my perspective, but my perspective is stupid, I mean. But still, I strive to be on the just side, and somehow that leads me more towards the chaos factions like the Black Legion. And somehow in this game, the Black Legion is misrepresented from the perspective that I understand it nowadays. I heard there are a lot of retcons, and but whatever. I won't go much into the lore. If you want to, you can get it another place, or you can just ask me in the comments, and we'll, exchange ideas on it on the other, point in time. But still, you understand my problems. You understand the, state of the 40 game at the time. At 2010, 2011. The story of the game is very simple. You play as the captain of the second company of Ultramarines, one of the most prominent Space Marine legions. And you and a couple of your mates are just going and slaying everything in your way, trying to win a war that has no hope. And you win in the end. Very cool. It is, since the story isn't complex, I think it is very good. It is all right. It can be sometimes. Sometimes it can be stupid. Straight up stupid. The whole character of Leandros is dumb, and when you play the game of this genre, this is the best you could hope for. Especially refreshing in 2025 is when you are, running through the long corridors where nothing happens, and no one is talking. For the first half of the game, there aren't much of the dialogue between the crew members that you and your mates of your squad. And it is kind of cool. I like that because in modern games, it always feels like people cannot fucking shut up, and since they cannot shut up, I'm forced to wait while they are done with their, bragging. Uh, because I don't want to miss anything, and you know, personal, taste and all. The sounds of the game. The sounds of this game are very good. Somehow, every game that I play has a very good sounds. If you're watching this channel, but in this game, they're quite good. Guns sound like guns. Chainsaws sound like chainsaws. Local orcs sound like a drunk Englishman, which is, how it should be. And they sure will not make you forget which game you're playing by every single one of them out of, thousands that you slay in your way. Have to mention that you are a space marine. And, you have to get used to hearing just that line, if you're playing the game. Voiceover, by the way, is at least decent. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it is not so good. The worst character in terms of voiceover, it is surprisingly is the main character, Captain Titus, because he half of the game he sounds like he's bored by it all, and when you're talking in almost whispering tone, like "Don't weep, son, it's going to be all right," while all the shit is breaking loose, and you're busy by breaking someone's neck and killing his mate with a chainsaw sword. All the blood and guts go around here. Your muscles are tense, and what you're saying is like, "Yeah, it is fine, man. Don't worry about it." It always it always sounds weird and unnatural. I'm very glad that in the second game, Titus gets the proper voiceover. But other characters, especially orcs, sound good. I adore orcs, and they deserve it. Graphics, um, they're decent. They rely heavily on these gray, brown, dim color palette that was fashionable at the time. But the textures themselves, they're clean. They were not pursuing the photorealism, and that is good. That's all that I can say about that. And that's pretty much everything that I can tell you about this game. It looks alright, sounds alright, the story is okay, the action is fun, and it's 40K, and if you wanted to try something, of the 40K that is easy to get into, this may be your entry point, but as I said, in terms of lore, they don't give you much exposition. First, what you get is, the look into the aesthetic, of course. Nowadays, what about this game in 2025, in November of 2025? The price is the big factor. Success of the second game was a catalyst of a severe increase of price for the first one, I think. Where I come from, it costs around $60, and it doesn't worth that much, of course. Around 5 to 7 years ago, you could have gotten it for a buck or two. That's much more like it. The game is old. The game is short. and you know, only just try it out only if it's on discount or something. Don't waste a lot of money on it. Of course, they might tell you that they're graphical improvement or whatnot, but I didn't notice it. I played the most recent version on Steam. It, it was all right, you know. It was nothing special. It wasn't 16 bucks, worth of content. Uh, I bought like Yakuza 7 for 7 bucks, and I have played 3 times as much in terms of time, and I've had a lot more fun. Uh, that's more like it. Well, closing thoughts are that the game was fun. I enjoyed it. I played it on hard difficulty, as I mentioned before, and I think it was for the best. There were some moments in the game, especially towards the end, where you are put in severe tactical disadvantage. At one time, you are forced to be in a lack of resources. I don't know if it is intentional to be this way or not, but I am glad that it wasn't dragged on. It was alright. Most of the game. The last boss was embarrassing. It was pointless, kind of, but the whole ride itself was it was fun. A simple little game. For now, though, I am coming back to the Yakuza 7, of course. I love it, and I hope the game would show me something that I don't even expect. It would be even better than I thought initially. And yeah, I hope to see you soon. Thank you for your time, and until next time.